Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're a fan of Girls Frontline 2 Exilium and want to dive deeper into its story and characters, you've come to the right place. Today, we're going to talk about the Vanguard characters and their roles in this thrilling new installment. Buckle up because there is a lot to cover. Before we get into the individual characters, let's talk about what Vanguards are. In Girls Frontline 2 Exilium, Vanguards are one of the 4 types of units central to the narrative. They're an elite group of T-Dolls, which are tactical units that serve as a critical role in the fight for humanity's survival in a dystopian future. I made other videos as well talking about Girls Frontline 2, the story, and also the Sentinels, so I'll leave the link down in the description so you can take a look at those videos too if you're interested. Just to let you know, Vanguards are different from your average DPS. They're not like Sentinels, they're actually more like glass cannons. They pack a punch, but they have the best mobility, but they also have the weakest defenses. Knowing this is critical to the player's strategy in the game. So make sure if you're going to send your Vanguard out, make sure they use that mobility to get out of the line of sight of the enemy so they don't get hurt and busted on your team. Now, let's take a look at the Vanguard characters we meet in Girls Frontline 2 Exilium. Each one has a unique backstory, personality, and role in the grand narrative. First up, we have the gold-ranked Belka, who wields a weapon from the assault rifle category. Her skills on top of physical element can also deal electric damage. She's innocent, peppy, and a skilled mood maker doll. She may seem harmless, but Belka is always preparing some secret prank. Nothing wrong with a bit of levity, and there's nobody who couldn't forgive those big doe eyes and a cute smile. But the fragile flower facade drops when she steps into the battlefield. Even with her good performances, Belka never spares any effort. She aims to become an elite T-Doll like her big sis, and be useful to both her and the commander. Her deepest desire is simply to remain by the side of the people she cherishes. Let's talk about her passive, Secret Forest Stash. At the start of the turn, gain 1 point of Confectance Index. Before attacking, apply negative charge to the target and the nearest enemy within range, lasting for 1 turn. If an enemy target is killed, you gain invisibility. For each negative charge applied by an ally, increase the critical rate by 5% up to a maximum of 30%. Her active skill, Bursting Shell, allows you to select 1 enemy target within 6 tiles, dealing 130% of your attack power as electric damage. For each point of movement point consumed, the damage increases by 5%, and you also gain 1 stack of active combat. Her second active skill, Pine Leap, allows you to select 1 enemy target within 6 tiles, dealing 130% of your attack power as physical damage. The damage dealt increases based on the number of negative charges on the field. Times that by 3%, and you can even times that up to a maximum of 15%. If the target is a boss unit and has negative charge, the damage directly increases by 15%. Belka's ultimate, Jumping Arc Light, deals a massive 160% of your attack power to an enemy target as electric damage. For each point of movement point consumed, the damage increases by 5% and applies conductivity for 1 turn. You also gain continuous discharge for 2 turns. Next, we have our gold unit Diane, who used to be known as Type 95. After Griffin and Kruger was reconstructed, Diane left and picked up the Guzang again as a wandering musician. However, she hasn't lost any of her fighting capabilities. Mentally mature, introverted, relatively weak in athletics, but superb in intelligence, and fond of taking care of others, she loves her sister Jiangyu, who is also in the game, very, very much. Diane's passive, Swift Harmony, allows her to gain 1 point of Confectus Index and 1 stack of tuning at the start of her action. If tuning is greater than 2 stacks, before receiving targeted damage from an enemy unit within range, you can perform an ambush dealing 150% attack power as physical damage and 4 points of stability damage. And then on top of that, gain 1 stack of permanent tuning. Diane's active, Clear Harmony, allows her to gain 3 stacks of tuning and gain Fixed String, lasting 1 turn. Additionally, she gains 1 extra command. Her second action, Perfect Tuning, allows you to select 1 enemy target within 6 tiles, and then dispel 1 buff, and then on top of that, deal physical damage equal to 150% of your attack power. Now, let's talk about her ultimate skill, Subtle Resonance. With this, you can select one enemy target within 6 tiles and deal physical damage equal to 190% of your attack power. For each stack of tuning, you reduce the skill's cooldown by 1 turn. After the attack, you can consume all stacks of tuning and gain 1 stack of permanent tuning, stacking it up to 3 times. Next is one of the units you get at the beginning of the game, Krolik. A doll with a bladed weapon imprint and a strange bunny ear headset she insists is tactical gear. She was one of the commander's bounties, but ended up joining the team. Her sense of honor dictates her close-range fighting style and puts her at odds with Team Sniper Nemesis. But she's somehow the only one who can translate Nemesis's cryptic, metaphorical speech patterns. She doesn't fare much better at socializing with the rest of the crew, but likes anything that relates to bunnies. Her goal now is searching for her lost partner. You can use her with Sharkery and Cheetah for a starter burn team as well. Outside of that, Krolik can be used to remove small enemies weak to either melee or burn damage. Let's talk about her passive skill, Embers. When attacking a target with Overburn, she can increase the damage dealt by 15%. At the end of the action, this applies Overburn to the closest 2 enemy targets within 5 tiles for 2 turns. Her first active is Quenching Slash. With this, you can select one enemy target within 1 tile, apply Overburn to it for 2 turns, and deal melee burn damage equal to 150% of the attack, and then on top of that, gain 2 points of Confectance Index. Her second active, Crushing Revolution, allows you to select one enemy target within 1 tile and deal AoE melee physical damage equal to 120% of attack, and to all enemy targets within a 3x3 area around it. Lastly, her ult, Slaughter Sequence. You can select one direction and move to the farthest tile within 7 tiles, dealing melee burn damage equal to 130% of attack to the first enemy encountered. If the target is already inflicted with Overburn, ignore their cover damage reduction and gain 5 tiles of additional movement, which is really great for a Vanguard that highly relies on their mobility skills. Our next doll is a gold ranked Ulrid, who, like Krolik, also wields a weapon from the sword category. Originally designated 1177090, she was used on a doll hunting ground where she was hunted for sport by humans. After escaping the doll hunting grounds, she joined a bounty hunter named Alan and joined his team. When Alan disappeared, Ulrid led the dolls to seek freedom from mankind. She's a doll with great ambitions. She draws friends to her side with her bold nature and strong decisiveness. However, she occasionally longs for a quiet corner to unload her burden and rest. Bearing a bow, arrows, and longsword, Ulrid can fight for her ideals at any moment. She walks this path with determination and gathered companions along the way. But can she lead these helping hands to a safe future? Ulrid's passive, Optical Camouflage, gains 1 stack of Hunter's Talent and 1 point of Confectance Index after active attacks. Her first active, Blade Whirlwind, selects one enemy target within 1 tile and deals melee physical damage equal to 90% of the attack to it. You also gain Whirlwind after attacking. This will grant you 6 tiles of extra mobility and allow for the use of Blade Whirlwind again. Her second active, Hunter's Sight, selects one enemy target within 1 tile, dealing melee physical damage up to 120%, and gains 6 tiles of additional movement. If the target is not killed, it applies Mark of Prey for 2 turns. Mark of Prey will inflict AoE physical damage at the end of her action within a 5-tile radius, making her a force to be reckoned with. Lastly, her ultimate, Hidden Pursuit. You can select a tile in a cross-shaped area within 5 tiles, move that tile to deal melee physical damage up to 180% of the attack, and go ahead and deal that damage to the enemy with the highest HP within 1 tile. Next, we have our other gold unit, Vepli, who wields a weapon from the shotgun category. A lively and cute idol figure, she is good at understanding the emotions of the people around her and is committed to performing performances that bring happiness to everyone. If she could better distinguish between the performance target and the situation, she would definitely be more popular, right? Vepli once worked as a promoter for the URNC Cultural Development Program in Yellow Zones alongside Sharkery. She acts as an idol even after taking up arms and joining the Amos, to Grose's constant disapproval, and likes adding stars in her messages. She's also freakishly strong for her frame, but also very clumsy, which is not a safe combination for people around her. Mr. Pizza is the name of Vepli's dinosaur-shaped backpack, which she treasures. Well, you can see him spotted in some places in the game, such as in the public area main menu. Mr. Pizza became popular with the fans even before the game's release, and has become Exilium's mascot. Her passive skill, Idle Talent, gains you 1 conduction point at the start of her action. For each damage dealt, you gain 1 conduction point. Increase damage dealt to the enemy targets with movement debuff, and have that be affected by 20%. Her first active, exclusive stage, allows you to select 1 enemy target within 5 tiles and deal physical damage equal to 150% of the attack to it. If the target is not protected by cover, you can cleanse 2 of its buffs before attacking. Veply's second active is called All Out Performance. You can select 1 direction and deal physical damage equal to 75% of the attack to the first enemy target in line of sight within a 3x5 area in the selected direction. This will knock the target back by 4 tiles, all while destroying cover. Infectious Enthusiasm is the name of her ultimate. With this, you can select 1 tile within 5 tiles to attack, dealing AoE physical damage equal to 100% of attack to all enemy targets within 2 tiles. Additionally, this applies Overzealous and Vulnerable 2 to the targets for 2 turns. Overzealous will increase the damage done by Veply by 30%. Lastly, we have our gold unit Xiaohui, who wields an SMG. Her skills on top of physical element can also deal hydro damage. She was originally released on August 6, 2024 in China, but her global release date isn't known yet. Fun fact, the Chinese characters in Xiaohui's name mean morning and sunshine. With the grace of a dashing heroine, Xiaohui strides forward alongside the members of Monsoon Squad. Having left behind a shadowy past, Xiaohui, who once wandered alone, dispensing justice far and wide, ultimately found a home with the Monsoon Squad. She has become their indispensable leader, dedicating herself to the band's management with unwavering commitment. The scars from her past and damage to her facial expression module often gives Xiaohui a cold, aloof appearance, leading to frequent misunderstandings. Yet beneath that exterior, Xiaohui is far from intimidating. In fact, she often goes out of her way to lift everyone's spirits, though her efforts tend to have the opposite effect. Her passive skill, Ambush, allows you to select any homing arrow within a radius of 9 tiles at the end of your turn and move to the selected tile with 2 tiles around it. This gains you 1 Confectance Index. Her first active skill is Calm Gale. You can select 1 empty tile within a radius of 6 tiles and summon 1 homing arrow, dealing ranged turbid damage equal to 90% of your attack power to all enemy targets within a radius of 2 tiles around the homing area, and applying wind status for 2 turns. Xiaohui's second passive is Shadow Snare, in which you can elect 1 direction and deal AoE physical damage up to 110% of your attack power to all enemy units within 4 tiles in the selected direction. Lastly is her ultimate, Azure Leap. Here, select any homing arrow within a radius of 9 tiles, move to the selected tile within the radius of 2 tiles around it, and deal turbid damage equal to 160% of your attack power to the nearest enemy target with a radius of 6 tiles, and then apply stasis for 2 turns. Alright, and that's all we have for today's deep dive into the Vanguard characters of Girls Frontline 2 Exilium. If you're enjoying the game, let me know which Vanguard character is your favorite in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more Girls Frontline content. See you on the next one.